this, inshallah, we're going to start. The program is pretty brief. I'm going to read a few ayahs from the Quran and then explain a little bit about Al-Israa and Al-Miraaj. And then we'll say some poetry in Arabic related to that in a song, and then we'll make dua and enjoy the food that was brought by many of our parents. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. This ayah is the first ayah from Surah Al-Israa. Al-Israa is the 17th chapter of the Quran. The Quran, as you know, has 114 chapters. The 17th chapter is called Al-Israa. And in Arabic, Al-Israa means the journey. But it's a specific journey. It's a journey at night. It's a journey that happens at night. So if it's in the daytime, it has a different meaning. It's a different word. It's still a journey, but it's a day journey. But if it's at night, it's called Isra. So this miracle that we're going to speak about today, and it's one of the greatest miracles of the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. An ayah, the first ayah of the surah, which was named after it, it starts speaking about it. And the ayah says, Subhanalladhi asra bi'abdihi. Subhana, when we say Subhanallah, everybody says it. You hear many Muslims say Subhanallah. But what's the meaning? Subhanallah, يعني تنزه Allah, ta'azzam Allah. When you say Subhanallah, it means Allah is greater, is different, is clear from the created attributes, Subhanahu wa ta'ala. It really means Allah is different and Allah is greater than what we can imagine. That's the meaning of Subhanallah. A lot of people say it, and sometimes when they translate it in English, they just say glory to Allah. But the word tanazzah Allah, يعني تباعد الله عن أذهان أو عن أوهام المتوهمين لأن الله تعالى ليس كمثله شيء. So when we say Subhanallah, it means Allah is so great. He's greater than what any imagine, than what any imagination can encompass. And to this, the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, he said a famous hadith, which is 3 words. 3 words, La fikrata, or 4 words, Firrab, La fikrata, Firrab. Fikra in Arabic, it could mean idea, but in this hadith it means imagination. There's no imagination for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as a Muslim, and as Muslims with our children and with our communities, we vaccinate them. How do we vaccinate them? With the proper belief, even as children, to make sure that they don't fall into the trap of tashbih. What does tashbih mean? Tashbih means, in English they have a big word for it. They call it anthropomorphism. It means giving God, Allah, physical attributes. This is called tashbih, tashbihullahi. And this is against the religion. But in many communities, and especially in the religions other than Islam, when they say God with their mouth, they say the same name. They say God, they say Allah. But in their mind, it's attached. There's a link, an imaginative link, a thought that comes in their mind. For some people, it may be a huge light. For other people, it may be someone like the Green Giant, a huge, giant. And this is categorically false. It's not true. It's not true intellectually, and it's not true because the Quran tells us it's not true. And the Quran is haqq without a doubt. It's not a theory. A theory could be proven right or wrong, or could change with time. But the Quran is haqq. The knowledge that we have from the Quran is haqq la rayba fihi. There's no doubt in it. So if a person tells you, do you accept the Quran without question? We tell them yes, for sure, without a doubt. Bila shakkin wala rayb. That's our belief in the Quran. That's our belief in the Quran. And in the Quran it says many famous statements that teach us about Allah. And one of the famous ones is Laisa kamithlihi shay. Again, 3 words, Laisa kamithlihi shay. And that means that absolutely nothing, no one is similar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You may think, we know this, we all know this, why is this being mentioned? The reason why this is being mentioned is because one of the greatest threats to humanity is the beliefs that are anthropomorphistic, that are tashbih, that resemble God to the creation. And therefore we teach children from a young age. We tell them a very simple concept. مهما تصورت ببالك فالله بخلاف ذلك. Whatever you picture, whatever you imagine, whatever you fathom in your mind, Allah is different from that. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is very important. Even if you hear this 500 times, you shouldn't be bored, because this is glorifying Allah Ta'ala. When we say Allah is greater than what you imagine, this is a glorification for Allah. Even when we say in Arabic, Allahu Akbar, we say it many times. In the daytime, when we make salat, when we make namaz, we always say Allahu Akbar. In many translations, it just says Allah is great, or the greatest. But the meaning of Allahu Akbar is the greatness of Allah is greater than the greatness of any great one or thing, and it's not the greatness of body and shape. It's not the greatness of size and mass. Rather, it's the greatness of status and honor and majesty, as they say. This is the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this ayah says, Subhanallah, الَّذِي أَسْرَى بِعَبْدِهِ. Allah enabled the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam to make this night journey. He enabled him to make this night journey. How did it happen? angel Jibreel alayhi salam, in English they say Gabriel, he came to the Prophet and alayhi salatu salam, and he wasn't very far from the Kaaba. The Prophet was in the house of his cousin. Her name is Hanif. She's the sister of Imam Ali. He came there, Jibreel alayhi salam, the angel came there, but he came with something different this time. He came with an animal. An animal, not a beast, but an animal, a special animal from Jannah. And this animal is called Al-Buraq. Al-Buraq. And in some illustrations, they make him look like a unicorn. But that isn't actually very accurate. But we say that it's an amazing animal. It's smaller than a horse and larger than a mule. That's how it's mentioned. And what's amazing about this animal, it's not an animal from the dunya. It's an animal that's in Jannah. And this animal called Al-Buraq, it makes one step to as far as it sees, and it's right there. So one stride, one step, and it's right there. So it's very, very fast, if you're asking. Super fast. So if you can see like half a mile away, for example, and you just make one step and you're there, that's how this animal was. It's called Al-Buraq. So Jibreel alayhi salam, an angel, he came in the form of a handsome man. He came to the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu salam with this special animal. So that means they're going somewhere. So but before they went, Jibreel alayhi salam, he cut the chest of the Prophet alayhi salatu salam without harming him. If an angel does not harm a prophet. The angels, they love the prophets. And when you love someone, do you harm them? No. So the angel cut his chest without harming him. And he opened his heart and he washed it with Zamzam water. And he made dua for him. Because what the Prophet was about to see, was going to encounter, was something that a very strong heart, he needs a stronger heart to encounter what he was going to encounter. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So the surgery was done with no medicine, with no hospital, with no doctor, with no pain. This was a special miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this was the second time it was done. We all know when the Rasul was young, alayhi salatu was salam, and Halima Sa'diyah was taking care of him, she found out that some people came and they opened his chest, and she was worried. And later on, they found out that these were also angels that opened his chest, and they did something good, not something bad. And it wasn't a painful encounter, okay? And then they made different stops. This night journey, they made different stops, different visits, different ziyarat. One of the stops was Al-Madinah. But Al-Madinah, it wasn't called Medina yet. Now, what is it called? Al-Madinah Al-Munawwara. Munawwara bi nuri Rasulillah alayhi salatu salam. But it was called Yathrib before. And when the Rasul alayhi salatu salam, he saw a lot of palm trees. There's a lot of palm trees in Medina. If you ever go there, Allah grant you, you'll see a lot of beautiful palm trees that have dates. And he saw a lot of palm trees and he asked Jibreel, where am I? He said, you are in Yathrib. And they stopped and they prayed 2 rak'ahs. And then, there's a significance to why they went there, because that's a special place. And there's a future that would happen with Yathrib later on. And then after, they went to a place called Madyan. Madyan, not Medina, Madyan. And one of the prophets, his name was Shu'aib alayhi salam, he was calling people to the religion of Islam in a place called Madyan. And when I say prophet of Islam, your mind should take that easily and simply, in a very simple and easy manner. Because in a lot of books that they write today, especially in Canada or in the States, when they speak about Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, they call him the founder of Islam. This is a lie. Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam is not the founder of Islam. He's the best Muslim, he's the best prophet. But he continued, he's the last prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, but he continued the message of Islam. Because all the prophets before him, from Adam, going through Noah and Abraham and Moses and Jesus, all the prophets came with one religion. They all told people to be Muslim. What does that mean? They all told people to submit to Allah Ta'ala. Al-Istislam li amrillah. That's Islam. In the time of Adam, his children would say, La ilaha illallah, Adam Rasulullah. That was the first Nabi. In the time of Nuh, his Muslim children, to affirm their faith, their shahada, their kalima, was La ilaha illallah, Nuhur Rasulullah. In the time of Ibrahim, the believers in Ibrahim, to become believers or to remember and reaffirm their faith, they would say La ilaha illallah, Ibrahim Rasulullah. And then in the time of Musa, they would say Musa Rasulullah. In the time of Isa alayhi salam, they would say Isa Rasulullah. And when the last prophet came, we say Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. All the prophets, they knew about Muhammad. Allah made the prophets knew that the last Nabi that would come to this world, his name is Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Even Jibreel, even Adam alayhi salam. Adam, he was in Jannah and he saw the name. He saw the name of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. It was written on a beautiful column. And he made dua, and in his dua, he said the name, he said tawassul. He asked Allah by the status of Muhammad. And it was said to him, how did you know about Muhammad? How did you know about Muhammad? And he's not born yet. He hasn't existed yet. And Adam alayhi salam, he said, when I looked at the arsh and I saw La ilaha illallah, I knew that the name of the creation next to the arsh would be the best human, Muhammad Rasulullah. So they call one of the names of Adam alayhi salam is Abu Muhammad. Adam alayhi salam, he's also called Abu Muhammad because he's the father of Muhammad, and that's his best son. That's his best son out of all the humans. The best son of Prophet Adam alayhi salam is Muhammad alayhi salam. And all the prophets, they told their followers, if you guys live long enough, and it's possible for people to live a long time. It's mentioned that one of the Sahaba, his name was Salman al-Farisi, he lived for 300 years. Well, 100 years he used to worship the fire, another 100 years he became a Christian and he worshipped Jesus for a while, like a Christian on the wrong path. Not the original Christians who followed Jesus properly. And they were Muslim. And then he finally was guided to the religion of Islam. His name was Salman al-Farisi. It's mentioned in some reports that he was over 200 years old. He was very old. And that's possible. They were bigger, they lived longer. One of the ladies in the time of Nuh alayhi salam, she came to him and she said, my son died. And he was so young. And Nuh alayhi salam asked her, how old was he? She said, he was only 250. Nuh told her 250. She said, yes. Nuh said there would come a time in the future when the human would live for 60 years. That would be his average age. The lady said, if I lived for 60 years, I would just do it sujood. I would make sujood for that time. 60 years. She was amazed. She said, my son died only 250 years old. That doesn't sound like a son in our time. That sounds like a very old man. But that was the case. They lived longer years. All the prophets knew about Muhammad alayhi salam. And we could say we are Muslimin Muhammadiyya. The Muslimin who believed in Jesus, they are Muslimin Isawiyya. The Muslimin who believed in Moses, they are Muslimin Musawiyya. That's proper, because all the prophets came with Islam. Inna Dina inda Allah Islam. The true religion that Allah accepts is Islam. And originally, the people today who claim to follow Jesus, originally, the true followers of Jesus, they didn't say Son, they didn't say Father, they didn't say Holy Ghost, they didn't say three and one. No, they said La ilaha illallah, and they said Isa Rasulullah. Because all the prophets came with one religion. All the prophets came with Tawheedullah Ta'ala, with La ilaha illallah. And then the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam, so they stop in Madian, and then they go to a place called Tur Sinai. This is in Egypt today, isn't it? Tur Sinai. He visited a special place in Tur Sinai. This mountain was a place where Allah Ta'ala gave Musa alayhi salam, Nabiullah Musa, special orders. And a special note here, we don't say that Allah was on the mountain. No way. Allah is not similar to the creation. But on this special mountain, Allah made Prophet Musa alayhi salam hear with his ear, the special kalam. The kalam, the communication of Allah. The kalam or the speech or the communication of Allah, it's not like our communication. Our communication starts and stops. Our communication has an end, has a beginning. It goes through changes. The communication of Allah, the ulama of Islam said, it's without a voice, without a letter, without a sound, without a language. What more do you need to hear? You can't imagine it. It's something you cannot imagine. But Prophet Musa alayhi salam, he went back to his people and he told them in a human language, which was Ibri, which was Hebrew. He told them what he understood in a human language from the special, uncreated, unsimilar kalam, speech of Allah Ta'ala. And he told them many things, and they benefited. And that was a great benefit to the ummah. That's why we call him Kalimullah. Musa alayhi salam is called Kalimullah, the one who spoke with Allah. It doesn't mean don't imagine or don't teach your children this was like when you're speaking to them or like physical. For the human, physical, yes. But for Allah, take out physicality, take out tashbih, take out likeness, because Allah is greater than what we imagine, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a very important fundamental in the aqidah of Islam. A very important fundamental. من المسجد الحرام. المسجد الحرام is Mecca. It's called al-Haram. There are some people, they say, why is it called Haram? Isn't it halal? Of course it's halal. It's a beautiful place. But Haram also means muqaddas. It means holy. It means special. It doesn't just mean it's not halal. It's haram. So the word haram in Arabic has more than one meaning. It has more than one meaning. Okay? One of the names of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was Atiq. Atiq. And if somebody hears the name Atiq in their Arabic, they think it means old. But it doesn't mean old. It means Jamil. And it means Atiqun min al-nar. Saved from the hellfire. So the names a long time ago, they had different meanings. But when you hear it today, if you don't understand Arabic, or even if you're Arabic, but no one explained it to you, you may get confused and you may say, why was a person named old or Atiq? Was he old? No. He was the same, around the same as the Prophet's age. Alayhi as-salatu was-salam. So, the Prophet alayhi salatu was-salam, he stopped in Tur Sinai in Egypt, and he prayed there. Who was he with? Who was he with? Jibreel alayhi salam. Well, what's the name of the animal? Buraq, al-Buraq. Then he went to Bethlehem. In Arabic we call Baytul Laham, Bayt Laham. And this was where Prophet Jesus was born alayhi salam. And he also prayed there. But on his way, the Prophet, they went beside a location where the Prophet, he smelled a nice scent. A very beautiful scent, a nice fragrance. And it was coming from a grave. It was coming from a qabr. And the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam asked about this. He said, what is this? And Jibreel told him, this is Mashitatu binti Fir'aun. He said, this is the grave of a lady who used to comb the hair of the daughter of Fir'aun. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, what's her story? And Jibreel told him, she was one day she was combing, and she was a Muslim. and the comb fell from her hand. It fell on the floor. And she said, Bismillah, you know. Sometimes something happens to us and we say, Ya Allah, Bismillah. So it fell on the floor and she said, Bismillah. And the daughter of Fir'aun, she said, what are you talking about? Allah, my dad is Allah, Fir'aun is Allah. And the hairdresser or the comber told her, Rabbi wa Rabbuki wa Rabbu Abiki huwa Allah. My Lord and your Lord and the Lord of your dad, the Fir'aun, is Allah. There's only one Lord. And she told her, I'm going to tell my dad, Fir'aun. And Fir'aun told her, Ukfuri billah. He told her, become a kafir, worship me. And the lady was a hairdresser. She used to comb the hair. That was her job. She said, I will not. He said, I'll kill you. She had 4 kids. And your 4 kids. She said, I will never leave my religion. He boiled a hot oil. Very, very hot. A big pot. And he put one of her babies in it. Leave Islam. No. He put another baby. A child. Leave Islam. No. Another child. Leave Islam. No. And the 4th child, she was crying and she was sad. And they said to her, Allah Ta'ala made the little baby who was still breastfeeding. He was under 2 years old. He said, Ya Ummah, isbiri innaki ala al-haq. He's the baby other than Jesus alayhi salam that spoke as a baby. This is mentioned in the Sahih Hadith of the Rasul. And then the lady, when she heard that, her heart was strong. And she knew, she was reaffirmed that she was on the haq. And he put her baby in the boiling water, oil. And before he killed her, he said, do you have a request from me? She said, take all our bones and bury us all in one place. That was her request. Bury us all in one place. And the Fir'aun, even though he was a kafir, a very evil person, he did that. And this same Fir'aun, he also killed his wife later because his wife was a Muslim. He killed her too because she wouldn't become a kafir. And thousands of years later, a beautiful smell is coming from where? From her grave. Is this odd? Yeah. Is this amazing? Yes. Is this possible? 100% because it happened. And we have the Sahih Hadith to prove it. It's 100% possible. And there are graves today of Muslims in special countries like Sayyida Nafisa in Egypt and Sayyid Muhyiddin Al-Arabi in Damascus and the qabr of Mu'in al-Shishti in Ajmer in India and the mazar and the qabr of many famous Muslims who spread Islam all over the Muslim world. Their graves are special places. Not for worship. We worship Allah only. But they're special places to visit. And for some people, they're like hospitals. People go there and they make dua. They say, oh Allah, please because of Nafisa. Oh Allah, please because of Al-Shaykh Al-Baghdadi. Oh Allah, please because of Al-Shaykh Al-Shishti. Please help us. The ulama said this is okay. If you have the right iman and you understand this, they said this is not wrong. And the dua may be answered. You may think, oh, this sounds like shirk. It's a very simple concept. If a person said, oh Allah, I have 4 innocent children, please give me a job because of my children. Does that sound wrong? It's not wrong. So you're making dua and you're making tawassul through your innocent children. You're saying, oh Allah, please give me rizq because of my innocent children. I have 4 innocent children, for example, and I want a job. Please Allah, give me a job because of my children, because they're innocent. And when the person comes back from Hajj, we say, please make dua for us. Why? Because he's innocent. Hopefully, you know, his heart is clean, he's white, he's just like his mother gave birth to him. He doesn't have sins. So we say, make dua for us. So we're asking for his dua because he's clean. So that's called tawassul. So the ulama said, tawassul bil-hayy aw bil-mayyit jaiz, la dayra biha, la khilafa fiha. It just, for somebody who doesn't understand it, he might think it's really far away from the haqq. But if you go to Mecca and you see how we treat the Kaaba, the love we have for the Kaaba, you will say, oh, if the love for Kaaba is this much, how about the love for the pious Muslims? It must be very great. If the love for the Kaaba, which is a rock, is so great, how about the love for the pious Muslims? Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The best of the people are the pious Muslims. And they have a special place in our hearts and in the heart of every Muslim. A place of honor. Even when we make salat, we say, Assalamu alayna ala ibadillahi as-salihin. We remember them, the good Muslims, even in our salat. Even when we make namaz, salat, we remember a lady like that one who used to comb the hair for Fir'aun's daughter, the Shahida. We remember many good Muslims. But a lot of people, they pray and they don't think too much. They're thinking, what's next? When do they finish and what are they going to eat? Or what are they going to do when they go back to work? But it's better to pray and have a lot of khushu'ah. It's better. But it's not easy because we're all human. One of the Sahaba, his name is Abdullah ibn Zubayr. His mom is the sister of Aisha. Her name is Asma bint Abu Bakr. And once he was praying in his house, and a snake fell from the roof, and all his children, his family, they ran away, and they found him still praying. And he finished, he said, Assalamu alaikum. He went outside, he said, what happened? They said, we saw a snake, you didn't see it? He said, I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about the akhirah. I wasn't thinking about what you guys were thinking about. So his heart was very strong in Iman. His heart was very strong in the salat. His heart was not thinking about snakes or fire or anything else. This is Abdullah, the son of Zubayr. His auntie, his khala was Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. So the Rasul then went to Al-Quds. Al-Quds, the name, هو البلد المقدس, Qudus. The name of Jerusalem in Arabic means holy. It means holy, it's special. Why? Because that land is Mubarakah. That most Bilad al-Sham, most of the prophets that came to this world were from Bilad al-Sham. They came in that region. And today there's about 300 graves that are known. There's more than 300 prophets. There's thousands of prophets. But there's 300 famous graves or places known to be related to some prophets in Bilad al-Sham. What do I mean when I say Bilad al-Sham? Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, and Jordan. When I was in Lebanon a few months ago, I went to visit this grave in a small town. It's called Karat Nuh. The grave is from here until the end of that street. It's so long, and it said it's the grave of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. It says it's the grave of Prophet Nuh. Allahu A'lam. I cannot see inside to find out. But this is what's known, and people go and visit it. And there's another area that's known as the grave of Prophet Sheeth alayhi salam. And then if you go